Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be discussing house and land packages and some of the important aspects that you need to be aware of. So whether you're a seasoned investor or whether you're new to new property investing, there's going to be a few pointers here that you're going to find worth listening to. So make sure you stick around to the very end, because if you're not aware of some of these points, it could cost you dearly. And as always, if you're getting value from this video, please like and subscribe and tick the little bell so that you're notified with each new video that we upload. If you've been involved in new property at all, you would have no doubt heard the term house and land package bandied around. So what is a house and land package? Well, essentially a house and land package is where you've got a contract for a block of land and a contract for a build, and they're put together in one neat little package. So for example, you may have 350k for your block of land, 350k for the build. The build on that block of land, put them together, 700,000 is your house and land package. Now, if they've done their homework correctly, the builder should have looked at that block of land and made sure that their package actually fits and works on that block of land. Now, this leads into one of the key points that I want to raise. Who are you actually purchasing from? This is really important, and it's something that people often forget. There's often a number of different people involved in the transaction. You may be dealing with an external agent. However, with a house and land package, generally the block of land, the party selling the block of land, is a different party to the builder that's building on the block of land. This becomes important because if there's some issue at settlement of the block of land that the builder wasn't aware of, who is going to make sure that it gets fixed? And when they're separate parties, there's often a blame game. Now, that's not always the case. It could be that a developer is also building on the block of land, but in most instances, the builder is separate to the land developer. So it's important that these two are actually coordinating and making sure that the house and land package works. Because if you get to a situation where it happens fairly regularly at the moment, the land developer will develop the block of land, they'll send out a contour plan, the builder will design the build for the block of land. However, when the final levels are delivered, it's different to what the land developer said it was going to be. The builder therefore has the wrong design and then has to fix it. Who is actually going to be responsible there? There tends to be a blame game. So you want to make sure you know exactly who the parties are and make sure that when they're putting that package together, it actually works for the final land block that's delivered. This has happened a lot recently where you've got a lot of new developers inexperienced trying to deliver blocks of land. What they deliver in the end seems to be different to what they were promising to deliver. And that makes it very difficult for the builder to have accurately priced it up in the beginning. So make sure that when your block of land actually settles, the builder has made sure that their package fits the final product. What are you actually getting for your money? This is really, really important, and it goes back to what I've discussed in other videos. You need to understand what you're getting, and that comes into understanding your build contract. With a house and land package, you want to make sure that it's actually turnkey. Now, when a package is turnkey, it means that it will include everything you need to move in from settlement. So, once it's finished, it should have curtains, blinds, floor coverings, driveway, absolutely everything, landscaping, making sure that it's ready for you to move in. If you go to a display village, you'll see the term from price. Builds from 249,000 or builds from 260,000, whatever it may be. Be aware from price is never turnkey. If you were to go and build the from price, you're probably going to have to add a hell of a lot to that package before it's actually move-in ready. So make sure you understand exactly what you're getting for your money and what will need to be added to the from price to make sure that it's actually ready for you to move in. This is a very important thing. So many people get caught out Their budgets are wrong because the builders said, yes, we can build this from this amount. You need to make sure you understand what you're actually getting and what is going to be delivered. It's also important to work out what has been allowed for in the contract. Where people get caught out, and I see it a lot, is where the builder hasn't allowed enough for the block of land. So they may have allowed for one slab type, but it comes in at a more expensive slab type. In some instances, it may be better to get a couple of tests done up front so that you can accurately price the build for the block of land. So for example, in some instances, you may want to have a soil test done up front. You may want to get a contour plan done. You may even want to get acoustics. There could be some other issues up front that you want to make sure you've got so that your house and land package is accurately priced and that you're not getting any surprises. This leads into my next point. Make sure, where possible, that you've got a fixed price contract. If it's not fixed price, make sure you know which areas the builder could be coming back for further payments. This is really important. It needs to be part of your budget and it needs to be part of your strategy. You don't want to get to the point where the builder sends you a variation and you can't afford to pay it, because both of you lose. Make sure you know that contract. Where's it fixed price? What have they allowed for? What slab type have they allowed for? What retaining have they allowed for? What site works have they allowed for? You need to know this. Will the builder be coming back to you for more money if things don't go to plan? Now, another one, there's often rock clauses in Queensland contracts. Is there a rock clause in the contract? If there is, you need to be aware that if they hit rock when they're trying to cut that block, they will be coming back to you for more money. Rock breakers, large machines, very expensive. It can add up and cost you very, very quickly. So understand your contract, which parts are fixed price, which parts aren't, and which part the builder can come back to you for more money. Know your builder. This is a really, really important one, particularly at the moment. I've said it in a number of other videos and I'll say it again. You need to undertake due diligence on your potential builder. You need to know that they are qualified to finish your build. You need to know that they've built that type of product before. There's so many different types of house and land packages. You need to make sure that builder is an expert in that type of build in that area, and that's something that they are regularly completing. Know your builder, go through some of their previous work. Don't just go through the display homes. Learn as much as you can about them and try and mitigate the risk of anything happening down the track. Okay, what additional costs can there be to your house and land package? Now, with a house and land package, it tends to be dual contract, which means there's a contract for the block of land and a contract for the build. You should only be paying stamp duty on the block of land. However, if a builder delivers you a single contract product, that means one contract for the purchase of a completed house, then you will be paying stamp duty on the whole amount. To borrow money in a super fund to purchase a property, it must be single contract, which is why you'll see a lot of single contract properties advertised. In that instance, either the developer of the land needs to build the house, or a builder will need to purchase the block of land, settle it, build the house, and then on-sell it to you on the single contract. You really need to understand what additional costs may be associated with it. So stamp duty is an obvious one. You also need to be in consultation with your broker to make sure that there aren't any additional costs that you're not aware of. Also, it goes back again to making sure you understand your build contract. Make sure you understand where parts of the contract could come back to you for more money, which parts are fixed, which parts are variable, if any, and always try and make sure you can get a fixed price contract. If it's not fixed price, you need to go through and make sure you understand how much has been allowed for each part of the build. What about the solicitor? This is a funny one. A lot of people don't realise that when you engage a conveyancer, a conveyancing solicitor, they will generally only act on the title of the land. So they will go out and do all the relevant searches. However, that's all related to the block of land. You need to make sure that you get a solicitor that understands and will check your build contract for you. It's really important that you get a solicitor that does this regularly. If you don't, they'll go through the build contract and they'll pull out bits and pieces that they don't need to try and justify their fee. What you want to do is make sure you get a solicitor that already knows these contracts inside out, that can go through it quickly, efficiently, and tell you the parts of the contract that either need to be changed or that you need to be aware of. It's really important that you engage a solicitor that not only understands the land title, but also understands build contracts. Okay, what about build time frames? This has been something that has been a major issue, particularly in Australia and Queensland recently. We've had major building booms, and this has led to shortages in trades and supplies, which means that build time frames have dragged out. It's important to realise that every time a build time frame drags out, it's going to be costing you a lot of money. If you're servicing the block of land and you're servicing the loan on the build, each day that it drags out is costing you money in interest. When build timeframes drag out, it also puts the builder themselves under a lot of financial stress. It's a situation that none of us really want to be involved with. However, at the moment, it's been something that's been unavoidable. What you need to do is make sure that you have sufficient funds to service your debt if those timeframes drag out. That's something you should be talking to your broker about. Have a worst case scenario. How much interest will I need to be servicing each day that the build drags out? Make sure you understand your build contract and understand the liquidated damages clause. Understand what amount of time the builder has said they will build your property in, and if they don't, how much you're going to get paid for each day they are over. That's the liquidated damages clause. It's really important to know this amount because when delays happen, you want to make sure you are getting funded for it. Okay, what about land registration? I think we need to talk about this one. Land registration's been something that's been very difficult recently. It's caused major delays. So let's talk about what registration is. Registration is the system in Australia that's used to validate the ownership of a piece of land. It ensures that evidence of title has been provided and prevents unlawful disposal. Registration of land is compulsory by law in Australia. Essentially, once all of the appropriate steps have been completed, once the land's developed, the final process for the block is to receive registration. You cannot settle a block of land until it's actually registered. Something that's been happening recently is there's been major delays in delivering blocks of land. This has caused major issues for the purchaser, the developer, and the builder. The builder tends to have put together a price on a block of land for a certain period of time. However, when there's a delay of 6 months or 12 months, those prices change. Suddenly, the person purchasing the block of land has to readjust their build price, and then they end up paying more. This has been a particular issue that's been exacerbated by the fact there has been major rises in build costs. You need to be aware that if your block of land has a registration delay, it's probably going to cost you more money to build on it, particularly with the build price rises that we've seen recently. All right, thank you for watching. As always, if you've got value from this video, please like, subscribe, and tick the little bell, and send through any questions that you may have. I'll put the email address on the screen now, ask@newproperty.com.au. Send through, we'll come back to you as quickly as we can. Thank you.